Hey everyone, welcome to the Goofy Guy Podcast. I am the Goofy Guy, Jim Spangler, your host, and this is Disney News for April 11th, 2021. We are at April 11th already. That's just crazy talk is all I have to say. Anyway, April 11th, 2021, and this is episode 108 of the Goofy Guy Podcast. So welcome. So glad to have you here. As you can hear, Julie is not with me again this week. She is still recovering from her illness. Hopefully, she'll be able to be with us next week. We certainly miss her and wish her well. But I hope you all have had a good week. I hope that you've had fun. The weather is getting nicer here in Chicago, so it's nice to be outside and feel that temperature difference, right? To be able to go out in just a sweatshirt or maybe even a t-shirt. We were actually up in the 70s the other day, which is crazy for us this early in the year. So, but I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I hope you had a good weekend. And I think we should get right to the news. All right. So, Disney news this week. First up, Disney has raised the price of their reusable bags. This is not a surprise. These are the prices, I believe these are the prices that they were when they first came out. And then when COVID hit and people stopped coming to the parks, they had all these bags they needed to get rid of, to be honest with you. And so they lowered the price to $1 a bag for all sizes. Didn't matter what size, it was $1 a bag. But now the price has gone back to a small bag is $2, a medium-sized bag is $2.50, and a large-size bag is $3. Now, if you have not gotten one of these bags, they're actually really nice bags. I really think they are a good price because you can reuse them a lot. If you've ever bought a bag like at Trader Joe's, it's that quality. It's really solid bag, so you can use it multiple times. And it's always great to buy one at the beginning, like maybe a medium sized at the beginning of your trip. And then as you buy things, you just take it with you and you put things in it. And then you take them out when you get back to your room, which I'm sure everybody does anyway. And then you can reuse that bag the next day. Just fold it up, put it in your bag, your backpack, your hip bag, your whatever, even in your fanny pack. It'll even fit in your fanny pack. And reuse it, which I think is such a great idea. We need to be doing much, much more of that. So anyway, just so if you're heading down there, and you want to buy some of these because you thought they were going to be extra cheap, they have gone up in price. And so it's $2 now for a small, $2.50 for a medium, and $3 for a large. So not breaking the bank, but definitely something you should know about. Inclement weather. They had inclement weather at Animal Kingdom, and it actually knocked down a tree or two at Animal Kingdom. I thought it was interesting. It tells you how big Disney is, that the weather was only at Animal Kingdom, the inclement weather. Now, that doesn't mean that they weren't getting rain at the other parks or they weren't high winds, but this severe of weather at other parks. And people actually got stuck on the safari ride, right? And so Kilimanjaro Safari, which hardly ever happens, but the weather was so bad that they stopped them to make sure everybody would be safe. So interesting that it was only at Animal Kingdom. It did knock down some trees, didn't do major damage, just some of those beautiful trees. It's one of the reasons I love Animal Kingdom so much, is all the foliage, all the green. And some people got stuck on the safari ride. Everybody was okay. There were no big injuries or anything, so everything turned out fine. But just definitely an interesting piece of news. Definitely. So, Cinderella's Castle, as we know, is being redone for the 50th anniversary. And they now have added some of the gold filigree and things they're adding to the turrets. It's actually now on, I think, 3 turrets. They started in the back of the castle, actually. And now they've kind of moved to the sides so that it can be seen a little bit from the front. I believe that it actually looks great. I think it's a beautiful turret. I think that it's been really well done. We've seen this before on other turrets that they've done, other work that they've done. And I just love it. I think it's just absolutely beautiful. So, just in case you are wondering, they are moving along with it. It's moving along quickly, actually. I think they're getting these this gold up on these turrets pretty fast. So, and I think it looks really nice. So, there you go. The castle is obviously changing as the days go by. Another piece of interesting news is that they have added, get this, you'll love this. They've added a watermark, and I'm going to bring up a picture of it here in just a second. They've added a watermark to the ride photos at the Magic Kingdom and at all the Disney parks. This, as you can see, it says Disney Photo Pass on it. So traditionally what has happened is that people would get off the rides and then they would take a photograph of the photograph up on the walls. If you've been to Walt Disney World, I'm sure you've seen it. If you've been to any park that does ride photos, I'm sure you've seen it. So instead of buying the photograph, they would go up and take a picture of it. So what they've done is they've added this watermark to the picture. It basically covers up the picture. I think it's great. I'll be honest with you. I buy those pictures and it bothers me that people just go up and take pictures of them and walk away. So I don't mind this at all. And I'm pretty sure that Disney is going to end up being very happy with the results of this. So I thought I would let everybody know that if you had planned to go and take pictures of those ride photos, no more, unless you don't mind that it says Disney Photo Pass across the picture of it, which would really kind of be ridiculous looking. Look at my picture, and it says Disney Photo Pass. Yeah, not good. Not good. Jim Hensley says, sure beats when they made the castle look like a birthday cake years ago. You know, Jim, I agree with that. I hated the birthday cake. I know why they did it, and it was the talk of the business. But I did not like the birthday cake, so I agree with you on that comment. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. So the Harmonious barges. Oh, we all know how much I love the Harmonious barges. It's such a great addition to the lagoon. Yeah, no, you all know how much I hate the Harmonious barges. Well, the Harmonious barges are now all in the lagoon. I know it's a little hard to see in this picture. And thank you to WDW News Today, WDW News Today, WDWNT.com for these images. They took some great pictures, and I appreciate that. They've completed what they're calling the compass. Now, this actually does make sense to me, that they've made these into like a compass. But I have said it before. I said it when I was there. These are huge. Like, water is not going to hide these. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to think that water is going to hide these. And I think that the fact that when they tested it, they had like a splash zone. They actually had a wet zone that they had to worry about with these barges. And I just don't like them. The show better be amazing. I think if the show is amazing, then everybody will forgive them for these barges. And I know they do amazing things. They do spectacular. I mean, those are huge LED screens, and they've got arms that come up and spin around. And the one in the center, the 6-story tall circle, actually has 4 arms that go up and turn around and have lights and lasers on them and stuff. Very cool. I am sure that the water screen will be great. God knows they can put enough water on that 6-story circle. I just think it could be an amazing event. I'm crossing my fingers. I want it to be amazing. Honestly, I don't want it to be bad. I want them to succeed in this because we're going to have to live with it for a while because they've spent too much money on this. They are not going to be pulling this thing very soon. It's going to be there for a little bit of time. So cross your fingers. Oh, I know the whole Disney community is crossing their fingers on this one. So, we got the name of the new store at Epcot. So right now, you know, the name of the store is Mouse Gear, or you may not know that, and that's okay. But the name of the store is Mouse Gear. and they moved it because they were doing all the reconstruction and all the refurbishment and stuff. Well, we got some idea of what is coming up next. It is a new store, and it's called Creations Shop. Creations Shop. I want to make sure that I get that right. And it is a rather nondescript store. It's pretty, it's nice, but it's kind of taking after the world of Disney on the inside of that store, in the sense that not a lot of character stuff happening, not a lot of images, not a lot of cool decorations around. The idea is that they want the merchandise to be the character in the store. They want you to be paying attention to the merchandise, not paying attention to the cool things on the walls or the ceilings or whatever's happening around. Now, they are going to have a Mickey Mouse theme. There are going to be Mickey Mouse images. I guess that doesn't surprise me. I'm a little disappointed that they're doing Mickey Mouse in Epcot, but we all know that's where they're going with everything. It's just kind of the way of things, and just like everything else, it'll change again. Eventually, we'll have to live with it for about 20 years, I guess, but I'll still be alive. I'll still be cheering them on when they decide to change it from a Mickey Mouse theme, and hopefully wisen up to make it, I don't know, it's Epcot, maybe Figment? I don't know. Maybe countries? That might be cool, right? Put pictures of countries on the wall. I don't know. Call me crazy. Anyway, so that's what it's going to be called. It's the Creations Shop. It is going to have a huge wall of windows to let natural light in, which I think is great. I think it'll end up being beautiful in there because of that. But if you're expecting it to be as fancy as Mouse Gear was, it will not be. There won't be all the stuff up on the walls, all the fancy stuff up from the ceiling. Because they want you to focus on the merchandise, which makes sense. They want you to buy. They want you to spend money. So I can't knock them for that. That is the way it goes with Disney and merchandise, right? I mean, you know that when you go in, and they're really good at getting their hand in my pocket. I don't know what that is about that, but I am always buying stuff. Anyway, as you can see behind me, there and over there, and just stuff. I am a sucker for buying stuff. Anyway, the new store is called Creation Shop, and I thought I would let you all know that that's what it's about. We have talked on this. The next piece is that we have talked on this show about the lights that they're putting up on Spaceship Earth, right? We've talked about how it looked like a tap light, like a big tap light. And we kind of made fun of it. And we thought the maintenance of these was going to be just a nightmare. I still think that maintenance of these is going to be a nightmare. But we have an image now of what they look like. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you get a little better picture. It's a little hard to tell there, but if you can see where they are in each of those points, those are the lights. Now, here's the thing. I was worried that they were really going to distract from what Spaceship Earth looks like. I thought that they might look like huge rivets. I thought they might look like just huge plastic tap lights, right? But as you can see, it doesn't look that bad. It's not that bad. And if they look beautiful at night, I will totally forgive them during the day for what they look like during the day if they're beautiful at night. Now, granted, this picture only shows a small piece of it, and it's actually doesn't show it from a distance. You're a little bit close up on this. So we don't, you can search the internet and find those images to see what they're really going to look like. But so far, I mean, and they're making a lot of progress. They've gotten a lot of them up there. So I think it'll be sooner than later that we actually see this happening, that these lights light up and that we get the new light show. They say it's actually going to enhance the lights that are already shining on Spaceship Earth, which makes me happy that they're not taking away those colored, beautiful lights, because I think Spaceship Earth at night looks spectacular. It's just gorgeous at night, and I would hate to lose that, honestly. So Mears has announced a new program that they're going to start. It is called Mears Connect. As we've talked about many times on this, the Magical Express is ending at the end of 2021. There will be no Magical Express starting in 2022. Well, Mears has decided to pick up the slack. They've decided to provide transportation from Orlando International Airport to the Disney resorts. Now, I don't know how much this is going to cost yet. They haven't said what vehicles they're going to use. They say they are going to move many people at one time. I don't know if they'll still use the buses or if they'll use large vans. Before, they would use large passenger vans. That's what they did in the past before Magical Express. That tells you how old I am, because I remember when you had to make reservations with Mears to get on a vehicle. So we're not sure yet. They haven't said, but it is coming. So for everybody that was concerned about it, everybody that was worried about how am I going to get to the Magic Kingdom or to my resort, my Walt Disney World resort from the airport, no longer needs to worry about that. And I am pretty confident saying if they're going to move multiple families at once, that it will be less than an Uber or a taxi. Or a Lyft, if you decide to use Lyft. That would be my guess, is that they'll make sure that balances out. And it'll still be the good service. If you don't know it now, the drivers that you have now are Mears drivers, right? Because it's just contracted through Mears at the moment. So they won't be obviously Disney themed. Who knows if they'll be able to show a Disney video on your way. They may have to pay for that, pay for the rights to do that. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But Mears has stepped up and said, yes, we are going to create Mears Connect. And that is how you're going to get from Orlando International Airport to the Walt Disney World Resort. So we'll keep you up to date on that. The more we learn about that, the more I'll be able to tell you. So that's kind of exciting news for all of you that were concerned about it. Disney has once again changed their mask rules. So this has been kind of moving target, right? As times change and as they need to adjust, they have. At first, it was that you needed to wear a mask unless you were eating or drinking. Well, then what they found was that people were eating and drinking and walking so that they didn't ever have to wear a mask. They just acted like they were always eating and drinking. So then they said, you have to wear a mask all the time. And if you're going to eat or drink, you have to stop. You can't be wandering around. You have to sit down or be standing at the side in one place to have that drink. So they tightened that up, and there are people, we've talked about this before, there are people all over the parks and resorts to remind you to wear your mask and to wear it correctly. We've even talked about people getting arrested for not wearing it correctly and being banned from the parks. So with that, they even tightened down a little bit more when they said when you're at a restaurant, if you're not actively eating at a restaurant, you have to have your mask on. Wasn't really enforced a whole lot. It still is not enforced a whole lot. It's kind of vague. Is eating and drinking when you get your water at the table, things of that nature. So it was a little vague. But if there's a problem, they can tell you to do that. But now they've come out and changed the rule again, that if you're taking a photo, either with PhotoPass or on your own, you can take your masks off. I think that's great. Now, I actually like that I have masks in photos. Reason being, I know that sounds really weird. That's kind of a bizarre thing to say. But the reason is that I like to mark the time that I'm there, right? And this is a moment in time. This pandemic is certainly not what any of us expected. And so it is a specific moment in time, and I'm at ease with that. So I actually kind of like that I have the mask on, because it will remind me years from now when this was, right? But there are a lot of people that are upset that when they take a picture in front of the castle or in front of the Tree of Life or, whatever, that they have to wear their mask. So now Disney is saying that for the picture, and only for the picture, you can take your mask off. So all those signs that say that you need to wear a mask during your pictures have come down, and the PhotoPass people are actually telling you that you can take your mask off. So thumbs up. That means we're moving forward, and I'm happy about that. But I thought that was kind of an interesting piece of news that you'd want to know. So if you're heading down there soon, know that you're going to be able to get your pictures without your mask on, which is a really nice thing. So the mask mandate is gone. The last piece of news I have is that Trader Sam has been removed from the Jungle Cruise at the Magic Kingdom. Now, we all know it's going through a retheming, right? We all knew that was happening. And Trader Sam, who you can see here, and I'll kind of zoom in on him, has recently been a real problem. He's always been a problem. Let's be real. He's always been a problem. But just recently, he's really become a problem over the past few years. So Disney, in the retheme, decided that they were going to remove Trader Sam from the retheme, which I totally understand. Times move on, and expectations are different, and people's morals are different, and all of that. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay that Trader Sam and that bad joke is leaving the Jungle Cruise. I would actually guess that the skippers are not sorry to see that go either, because I'm sure it started making them very uncomfortable to have to tell that joke. Anyway, Trader Sam is no longer on the Jungle Cruise. They have removed him. You're going to see things change as time goes on here with the Jungle Cruise. I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're going to shut the Jungle Cruise down. I think it's going to be done in plain sight, just like Trader Sam's, because what they did at first with Trader Sam is they covered him up with that kind of material that the military uses to camouflage themselves over a big area, right? So they covered him up with that so that you couldn't see him. And it actually did a pretty good job, really. I think if you didn't know he was there, you wouldn't have paid attention to it, to be honest with you. But now he's gone. And so I think we're going to see the gorilla change, the rhinoceros chasing people up the pole. That's going to change. The gorillas are going to change a little bit, and we'll see the boat added eventually of the skipper and the crew and the boat that crashes, because that's part of the story that they're coming up with. So, but it is kind of big news because it's the first big change in the Jungle Cruise in a long time, besides the Jingle Cruise overlay that they do, which is fine, but it's not really a change. It's just adding some Christmas decorations and adjusting the storyline a little bit, a few jokes. So, Trader Sam gone from the Jungle Cruise. I'm not really sorry to see him go. That's about it for the news this week for April 11th, 2021. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good time. Hope you learned something maybe. Hopefully I helped you plan a little bit, knowing that you don't have to wear your masks, or that, Cindy's Castle is getting updated and what to look for, and the photo pass situation, the ride photo pass, just things you need to know before you head down to the world, so that you can be sure to have your expectations right and enjoy yourself. So, hey, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the fact that they put watermarks on it. Let me know what you think about Cinderella's Castle. Let me know what you think about removing Trader Sam. Some people are going to be really upset about that, I'm sure, especially the traditionalists. They're really going to be sorry about that. I happen to not be one of those. I love traditional things, but I'm pretty okay with it. But let me know. Leave a comment either on Facebook or on YouTube. If you go to the website and you hit the podcast button, if you're listening to this, you can find the podcast. Just go click the podcast up at the upper right and leave a message for the podcast. That would be great. I would love to hear from you there. You can also get a hold of me at jim@thegoofyguy.com. I will always answer those. I have... I had not heard that, Jim. Jim Hensley asks, was it a bad April Fool's joke that they were going to implode Spaceship Earth? Yeah, I think, bad April Fool's joke. The bad April Fool's joke that I saw was that they were not going to reopen the People Mover, that they did an inspection and they found out that the foundations were cracked and not stable, and that they were going to close it for good. That would have crushed me. But that was an April Fool's joke either. So yes, that was a bad April Fool's joke. Anyway, please feel free to email me. Go to the website, thegoofyguy.com, and leave a comment there. Would love to hear from you there. You can leave a comment on Facebook. It's The Goofy Guy on Facebook. On YouTube, it's The Goofy Guy. If you're on Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter, it's The Goofy Guy blog. So you can leave a comment or a note and leave your ideas there too. If you have any ideas of something that you'd like us to cover, please let me know, and we'll see what we can do to get that taken care of if there's information that you would like to have. I have lots of ideas for topics coming up, so you should see the list. It actually gets longer almost every day, so there's going to be a lot to cover and a lot to share with you so that you can make your vacation the best that it can possibly be. With that, please take care of yourself, take care of your friends, your loved ones, check in with them, make sure that they're okay, your family. COVID-19 is still out there. It's still affecting people every single day. People are still dying. So please check on your loved ones, your friends, and your neighbors. Make sure everybody is safe. Also, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. Wear your mask. I can't say that enough. I just got finished watching the Masters, and I was just shocked at how many people in the gallery were not wearing masks, and they were certainly not social distancing. So please wear your masks. And remember, I don't wear my mask for me. I wear my mask for you. And with that, it is time for us to take off. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast or the broadcast, whichever you happen to be listening to or watching. And we'll talk to you next time.